Hey, how's it going, everyone? Justin again, as always, thanks for watching my channel. Welcome back. So today, very briefly at lunch, I decided to go down to Builder Supply and check out their inventory. It's been a couple years since I've been there. Last time I went there, I had to pick up some roofing supplies, and before that, I think it had been a couple more years because I really went to Builder Supply a lot for all my chainsaw needs when I was cutting firewood and doing some woodworking, amateur woodworking I was getting into. I was really digging that. I'll share that with you in another video. But at any rate, I had a little bit of time today, so I thought I would do a little walk around and see what they have. I haven't been in there in a little while. So that being said, let's go for a walk. All right, so right out the gate, we got some Milwaukee. So Milwaukee's like the leading tool brand right now. If you've been following YouTube or any of the forums, look, they have it far exceeded anyone's expectations, so of course everyone's talking about them. I think that's a phenomenal product for what it's worth. I still prefer my Ridgid. I'll talk about that in a separate video and give my reasonings of why I prefer Ridgid over Milwaukee, but they did have some Black & Decker. So for homeowner use, I think Black & Decker's okay. To me, there are far better brands out there for a fraction of the price outside of Black & Decker. They did have this new company I haven't heard of, which is Project Pro. Project Pro is something I've never heard of before, but, you know, again, for homeowner use, they didn't look bad. They kind of reminded me of the Black & Decker lineup. A benchtop grinder. You can never go wrong with one of these. I have one. It's a Ryobi. I've dropped it. I could probably use an upgrade or changing it because the wheel is kind of wobbling a bit right now. Senko. I haven't seen a Senko nailer in years, at least 10 years, ever since I was a framer's helper. And I was really happy to see that Senko was still for sale and it was still on the shelf. I might actually consider going back to get this framing nailer. It just looked really nice and I'd love to have one. They are just good quality. All right, here's some Milwaukee, what are these, I don't know what they're called. It's a type of drill bit though that you can hog through wood. So if you needed a specific hole diameter, you could totally achieve that with those. They look nice. Here's some Senko nails, so if you want to slide them into your framing gun, you can. Some Orbitable sandpaper that they had available, looked like a reasonable price. Might even be a little bit cheaper than Home Depot, to be honest. And I thought that was really nice because do-it-yourselfers or do-it-best, they offer you some nice stuff. I don't remember what the name of this. I think it's Fournet or something like that. I've used those chop saw blades before for metal cutting. These little discs and like Brillo pad looking scrubbies, you can use these in automotive. You got to be careful with what you're using them on. You don't want to use them on a cylinder head because when they get down in the engine, they can fuck shit up. So don't get too crazy with that. Here's a wire wheel. So if you want to change your one of your grinders out on your benchtop grinder for a wire wheel, use that to clean threads up. That's kind of nice to do. They did have some die grinder stones. They had these, they're not carbide, I forget what material they are, but they had a nice, I've used these for plastic and they're great. They do work really good. Some wire brushes, did see some other welding adapters and things here. They had some welding, I don't know what to call them, a hood. It's a kind of a beanie thing you'd put under your hood so you don't burn your scalp. I saw these, they reminded me of the Matco precision screwdriver sets that they have. So I thought that was interesting. They did have some T-handle Allens. I actually almost picked this setup today. It's a Starbit set, but it's a driver. So if you want to take your headlight out or tail light out to change out a bulb, that would be something nice to have around the house. All right, I did pick this up. It's a hobbyist, like hobby or X-Acto knife, made in USA. Looked like good quality stuff. We're going to take a look at it here a little bit later. They also had a nice variety of files, but even better, they had an interchangeable handle. So if you wanted to just get the file blades as you need them, instead of having hundreds of files with handles lined up in your toolbox, just get the one handle and a bunch of individual files. They'll hold up. Here's some punches and chisels. If you needed an oversized chisel, they had them there. Looked to be of reasonable price and quality. Here's the pen style soldering. I don't know that those are any better than the ones you could find from Harbor Freight. Here's a pistol style. I think I would go with Weller. I think I called them Wheeler when we did our walk around at Home Depot. I think it's pronounced Weller, so I apologize for that. I'm not always politically correct. As I said, I do have an affection towards Stihl. I love their products ever since I was a kid, watching my dad cut firewood with his chainsaws. Of course, I bought my own when I got older. So I got an MS-180C and I got a MS-271. These things are great. I really wanted the 311. I didn't have enough money for it, but it is a chainsaw that I do want to buy in the future. There's another chainsaw that I saw outside of the 311 that I really wanted, outside of just cutting firewood, but for wood carving, was this little saw right here. I forget what it is, but it's nice to just use the one hand, and you can go down to a diamond cut blade, which I'll show you later in another video, and it works really well for the fine tuning of your creation as far as wood carving goes. So it would be phenomenal to have something like that. Their weed whackers are great. I've used them in the past. I actually have also used Craftsman weed whackers in the past, and I've owned it. I even gave one to my cousin before I left Oregon. Home and Garden, I've picked up shovels from here. I've picked up their rakes. I've picked up their hula hose. Look, they seem to hold up well, and even through the elements, it rains on them all the time. Okay, over Home Depot, they sell this chemical called Dow Instafoam, but over here they have the Do-It-Best style, a little bit cheaper, and it's great for filling in voids. So I was looking at their wrenches and socket aisle. They did offer a lot of channel lock, which I was actually surprised. I haven't seen this much channel lock products out of any store that I've been in so far. They also had some Do-It-Best stuff that I thought was a little bit on the pricier side. Some of it was reasonably priced. And then, of course, channel lock, some of it was a little bit on the high side. Some of it was a little bit reasonably priced. I just took a good look around, was just trying to see if there was anything that sparked my eye. Their extensions had a nice knurl to them. I noticed that. They did kind of categorize things by labeling it with red and blue. So that's kind of like a Duralast feature as well. A little bit on the pricey side, like I said, though, 53 bucks for an incomplete set with a ratchet. I did see the screwdrivers. They looked okay, but I think the Do-It-Best ones are of equal quality. I probably would go over Do-It-Best over the channel lock versions. I don't know. I did see this for 15 bucks. You know what? It's $10 north in the Harbor Freight set, but I liked it. So I picked that up today. I'll show you guys those a little bit later. Of course, it had a lock on it, so I couldn't just pull it off. I guess people steal that shit. I don't know. They had a fair amount of nippers and clippers and slip joints and lemon pliers, and they had cutters and dikes, and they had tongue and groove, and then they had some Do-It-Best tongue and groove and some other off-name brand stuff that I'd never heard of for a little bit of a fraction of the cost that looked like you could pick the same thing up possibly from Harbor Freight. They also had these really cheap Harbor Freight looking ones down here, and I was like, yeah, whatever. Kept moving on, looking around, see if I could find anything that sparked my eye or interest as I was here. They did have some Irwin. That was kind of nice to see. Checking out some of the other stuff that they had here. So we're in the electrical aisle now. They did have some crimpers, some wire strippers. I even saw their DVOMs, but they looked a little bit cheap and janky. I wasn't too keen with those. I did like these wire strippers for 27 bucks, the Do-It-Best ones. Those look pretty good. I don't know, I haven't tried them, but they looked pretty good. And then, of course, they had some other little things that you could use for electrical as well. Not much for toolboxes, guys, but look, if you want something you can toss in the back of your truck or in the back of your truck bed, throw a few things in there and just grab and go, or bring up to the top of the roof with you. Look, they had it. Look at this one. It was on sale, 15 bucks. Big old thing, Trooper or something like that. And then we got some extension cords, some lighting here. Yeah, I wasn't so impressed with the lighting part until I got to their solar lights that you could put on your front porch or patio. Now we're talking. Let's see here. $3 for the smaller ones and a little bit more for the bigger ones. But look at this thing. How about those things shine bright? All right, then they had some clearance items as well. Some Porter cables, some Black & Decker. They had some Makita, some DeWalt. That was nice to see a clearance shelf that they're just trying to clear out some inventory. So that was nice to see that. Flashlights for your hat. Those are pretty interesting. I was like, yeah, maybe. I couldn't pass these up. I had to get some of those. Alright, so I did end up picking up a couple of items from Builder Supply. This was Channel Lock's pick set. And I just thought overall it was pretty nice, and for the price that they had, I'm kind of excited about replacing the Harbor Freight set I have for this. It's a pretty nice pick set. So, great job, Channel Lock. And also made in USA, in case you guys are wondering. And then I also saw this made by Techni-Edge. This was a great hobby knife. I was looking for one. I didn't know where I could find one. It's also made in the USA. And I can utilize this when I'm doing the RC build. I couldn't figure out what I was going to do about needing various X-Acto blades or knives or things like that. Now I don't have to worry about it. Comes in a really nice wood box. Let's open this thing up and take a closer look at it. Let me get the cardboard box open here. Alright, so let me just flip this over, slide it out. And yeah, look at that. That's a nice set. Way, way nice. Easily closed up in this wood box. I love this wood box. It has a extra little bit of added nostalgia to it, in my opinion. So, absolutely. 15 bucks. Kudos to Techni Edge. Pretty nice. And last but not least, I couldn't leave without picking up a couple of these. I haven't seen these since I was a little kid, man. Do you remember these? The Starfire gliders, dude. These things are so cool when I was a kid. I love this little thing. That's so cool. I brought two for the kids. Alright guys, so I had an absolute fun time. You guys got a chance to check out the X-Acto blade set that I picked up. A couple of airplanes that I got for the kids. Look, overall I had an enjoyable time. I didn't spend very much time in Builder Supply. Maybe I'll revisit them at a later date. But you know what? I think I got the gist of what it is they have to offer. And, you know, just seeing that 311, just, it's one of those things on my wish list, man. I mean, as men, we create wish lists and we window shop tools like women do shoes. It's absolutely ridiculous. That's all I got for this video. Thanks as always for watching. If you liked the video, give it a thumbs up. If you didn't like the video, give it a thumbs down. Share if you want to share. Yes, there are more videos like this to come. And I will also be doing a follow-up video about my Ridgid experience as well as one of my wood carving and firewood experience. Thanks as always for watching. We'll see you guys next time. Deuces.